Originally announced in September of 2014, Windows 10 is the latest iteration of Microsoft's Windows operating system. Now, if you know me in person or digitally or have read my blog, you'll know that I am a huge fan of the FOSS, free and open source, movement and use Linux as my only OS. While this may come as a shock to some, I do this for two main reasons. One, I don't want to spend $80+ on a piece of software when I can get a free piece of software that does exactly what me personally, this isn't true for everyone, does exactly what I need it to do, and does it better than the other expensive option. Two, I prefer having the ability to control my own computer inside and out. Sure, it may be a little less polished and may break more often than Windows does, but I like the ability to have total control over and be able to fix my own PC. But enough talking about the reasons why I don't use Windows. Let's get down to business. Up until the most recent build released, Microsoft had been calling their pre-release/beta releases of Windows 10 the Windows 10 Technical Preview build. However, with the most recent build, Build 10074, they've changed that title to Windows 10 Insider Preview. This points to the fact that Windows 10 is getting closer to RTM. Let's get on to some of the more interesting and visible changes. Obviously, there are a ton of bug fixes and changes going on behind the scenes that would be incredibly boring to go into detail on, so I'm not going to touch on those. I'll just go over a few of the features that I found most interesting about this new build of Windows 10. I'll include a link to the official Microsoft blog post for the Build 10074 launch, just in case you're curious. You'll have seen me installing the new build in VirtualBox on the screen for the past few minutes. The process is exactly the same as the previous builds. Once you get it installed, there are a few visible changes to the login screen. If you look down to the bottom left of the screen, you'll see two users. One is the Avi's Tech user, and then there's another secondary user. This is different from the previous builds in that all the users are listed on the actual login screen instead of on a separate screen. They've also changed the user avatar icon to a circle instead of a square. Once you're logged in, you're dropped into the Windows desktop. There have been several changes made to the UI in this release, and I think Microsoft has done a very good job with it. Cortana has seen some updates, and the search bar / Cortana Home has been updated with a new set of menus along the left side when you activate the Cortana Home. Cortana has also been updated with the ability to answer more questions and can be trained by your voice to listen for you to say, "Hey Cortana," before activating. Let's ask her a joke. Cortana, tell me a joke. One cool new feature that I discovered while playing with the new build is that Cortana now has the ability to listen to music and tell you what song it is. Although Apple Siri has had this feature for a while, I still think it's cool. Another change they've made to the UI is that they've moved the power button back from way out on the edge of the Live Tiles area, back to a more normal and logical place above the Start button. I'm glad they made this change. The way they had set it up 2 builds ago, Build 9926, was just awful. They had it way out on the outer edge, and it was very hard to reach. It's still not great. I still like the way they had it in the original build the best up here at the top next to the user icon, but it's still a great improvement over the previous setup. A few visual tweaks have been made. The Windows icon on the Start button has been shrunk slightly, and the default color scheme has been changed away from that very blue-heavy style of the previous preview builds. The Start menu and taskbar now also have arrow transparency, something I think looks very good. And one more change to the taskbar. Where the Charm/System tray used to be, there is now a single icon that brings up the notifications bar. Moving on, this release features a new Windows sound set. I'll play a few of the new sounds. Not all of them have been changed, as you can tell from the device insert remove sounds, but there are definitely new ones there. Now, during my testing, there were 2 things I noticed that were a bit off in some of the text. I'm not sure if this is because of VirtualBox or if it's an actual Windows 10 thing, but if you open Explorer, you'll notice that there are some strange characters that show up under the Recent Files header. Of course, there are other changes that have been made. This video was just meant to be a quick overview look at the Windows 10 Insider Preview Build 10074. Now, one can't really tell how good or bad a piece of software is via a pre-release version that you try out for 2 hours. However, you can get a fairly good idea. Windows 10 is shaping up to be a fairly decent operating system, and although it seems a little strange for me to say this, I am seriously considering picking up a copy when it's finally released in summer 2015. Of course, a lot of things can and will change between now and then, but as it stands currently, Windows 10 looks to be a nice compilation of all the good things from Windows 8, 8.1, and Windows 7. That's all I've got for this video. If you guys liked it, please like and leave a comment telling me what you thought. Even if you don't like it, please leave a comment telling me what you didn't like. I'm still new to producing content on YouTube, and I'm always looking for ways to improve. If you really like my video and want to see more, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been Avies Tech, and I'm out. I'll see you later.